Welcome to Greater Faith Outreach Ministries, reaching the world with the love of God.
Hello, 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 and welcome again to Greater Faith Outreach Ministry. I'm Elizabeth Hamilton, your host. My co host here is Elizabeth Kim, Miss Bellevue, Washington.
Hello, how are you?
We have a very dynamic guest here with us today. She's done a lot for the community, and you probably recognize her face. A lot of people know her. And it's Krista Linden. Welcome, Krista. It's
Thank
good to
you.
have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So this program is really, really dear to me because I was a client of Step by Step 10 years ago. And little did I know, I would interview her, the CEO and the founder of Step by Step. This is amazing. Yeah. So she is, she has 7 daughters. 7 daughters. Isn't she beautiful? But I was
7 daughters.
7 daughters. Yeah, married for
Amazing.
27 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I just want you to meet Krista Linden, and that I'm going to tell you about my experience with the Step by Step 10 years ago. So
So
here you
she's
go.
the founder
Founder,
and executive
director
director of
of
Step by Step. Wonderful.
Yeah. And also, we do have a restaurant. I want to show you this one screen, Farm 12, right? So I want you to tell audience about this one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. My name is Krista Linden. I'm the founder and executive director of Step by Step. And I founded Step by Step 22 years ago in 1997. And I did so out of experience I had in college. I was student teaching in a first grade classroom. It was the first day of school, and all the kids seemed to be there, excited to be there, except this one little girl. And thinking that maybe she had just had a rough morning, I walked over to introduce myself to her. And the moment that our eyes met, my heart just absolutely sunk into the pit of my stomach. And I had never seen a child or a human being with such a vacant soul as this little girl seemed to have. And so I asked the teacher what was wrong, and she said she has fetal alcohol syndrome. And I had never heard of fetal alcohol syndrome before, but the effects of it when I saw this little girl were immediately apparent. And I bonded with her in a way I haven't bonded with another child outside of my own. And her mom never came to anything during that experience, but at the end, I got permission to take her to the zoo, which you can't do as a teacher anymore. But I took her, went to her apartment and met her mom, and just one of the most awful home experiences I've had, and took this little girl for the day, and it was all I could do to have to take her back into this home environment, and I did, of course, but she was shortly put into foster care, and she was adopted. And I didn't know. I'd met my husband in college, and I didn't know. I knew I wanted to have a big family. I didn't know it'd be 7, and I didn't know it'd be all girls. But I knew that if there was anything else I was going to do with my life, it was going to be to have a small part in helping babies start out life healthy, and to give moms the support in often a very vulnerable and scary time for them. And so I started Step by Step in 1997, and we got a contract with the state of Washington's First Steps program. Which the goals of that program are to reduce the infant mortality rate and increase the infant birth weight. So for 22 years, we've had a team of about 27 licensed nurses, dietitians, and counselors who go into the homes from beginning of pregnancy until the baby's a year old. And we work with about 1,200 women across 4 different counties, but mostly here in Pierce County, right here in Tacoma.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. So I want to introduce your mission, if that's okay, to the audience. Step by Step's mission is to transform the lives of at-risk pregnant women, so they will deliver healthy babies, embrace positive parenting, and establish safe homes and secure futures. See, there you go. This is so true, because yeah, when I was pregnant, yeah, I mean, my parents used to owe me. I'm not saying anything bad about my parents, they could not accept the fact that I had children as a marriage, and I didn't have a place to go. I was homeless when I was pregnant. My amazing Christian woman took me in. I was very fortunate, and she gave me information. Tona Snyder, she gone to the home, Christ, and then she gave me information about step by step. And my case manager was Vicky Carson, and So I'm so grateful. I mean, Step by Step is not faith-based organization at all, but I met Christ through Step by Step. I'm just want to make it clear, So I remember this one case manager was holding hands with me because I would say, I cannot have this baby because I have to be an anchor woman and CNN or all the other places. My major is communication. I cannot have this baby, and she's gonna hold my hand and pray with me again. Step by Step is not faith-based organization, but she has to have a faith, in there. And then she said, you know what, let's pray together. And she wept with me. She really cried with me. And I didn't have any hope at the time. I did not know how to take care of baby. It was scary things. And I just told her, I cannot have a baby. I'm not going to have a baby. And then she goes, whatever that you decide, we are here to support you. And so I decided to then actually keep the baby because I saw the ultrasound and I could not abort the child. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to give the baby out in adoption. And then Step by Step even helped me to meet up with this organization where I can put the baby in adoption. And they were there for me. And then Vicki Carson, also brought me to a lot of places like CareNet, for example. They're going to come and speak to, and all this really professional information about how to care of babies and everything. So this is really, really organization, please. And I saw you everywhere the other day on the Queen Becky. Miss Pierce County went to Farm 12, and then she had a yum. So we gotta go there.
I think we have an image up.
Image up
there. Yeah. On that. Tell us a little bit about Farm 12.
Yeah, so I'll explain how Farm 12 came to be. For about 15 years, I was just, obviously with 7 children, I was very head down for raising my kids and growing step by step, and just very, there was just a lot going on between those two things. And I wanted to make sure that my children had all of me, and what was left for Step by Step I could do, but I needed to make sure that my children I was there for my kids in the early years. And then when my kids got older, and Step by Step began to grow, and my kids got more independent, I began to think about how can we take those relationships that we have with so many women and thousands over the years, and especially those that are like you, just super motivated and really, like, anything you teach them, show them, they just soak it up like a sponge. But the state grant, or the state contract that we have, just didn't allow for that time beyond either 2 months postpartum or the baby's first year. So I was trying to figure out a way that we could help women provide for their children, not only financially, but to just more stably provide in many other ways, to give them the tools that they needed to be able to do that. And so I set out to buy a farm, and that's kind of a stretch for some people, babies to farm, but I grew up on a farm, and I really wanted to dual purpose some type of a social enterprise along with the preservation of a farm. And so it has taken 7 years. In 2015, we raised $1.5 million, and we bought the former Van Lierop Bulb Farm in Puyallup.
Okay.
It has tens of thousands of square feet of buildings. We bought 6.25 acres. We put together an advisory council to figure out what businesses we were going to put on them that would be very attainable for the women that we are working with, and also teach really basic and important life skills. And so we raised another $8 million, and we put it into renovating one of the pole barns there. It's now a 105-seat farm-to-table style restaurant, a 2,000 square foot kitchen that we have in the back, a 400-person event hall that's gorgeous. The whole facility is gorgeous, first class.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
We have a greenhouse that we're growing out of, and then we're going to be partnering with another organization to put in an early learning center, not only for the children of the women who come and work at Farm 12, but also for the community, because childcare is just a huge issue, whether you have means or you don't. It's just for me, probably the most important project that we will do on that site is the Early Learning Center. Having been a teacher, and also knowing all that I invested in my kids before they ever entered kindergarten, and how important all of those early years are really in the trajectory of a child's life. So we have a lot going on down at Farm 12, and we named it Farm 12 because all the bulb farms in the valley were on a bulb exchange, numbered bulb exchange, and that was the 12th farm that we preserved.
Oh, wow.
So all the crates with the bulbs came with the 12 stamped on them. But the site itself, the entire site is named after Jermaine Coram. It's called the Jermaine Coram Center, the entire site, because the Coram family were our major donors to in the first phase to help us to make the purchase of the property possible. So the Coram family has the Coram for Kids Foundation, in which they have given very generously to the community, especially in and around Puyallup, but even beyond there, and they were very generous in the purchase of the property. So that kind of explains Farm 12. We've been
Yes.
open. Our restaurant has been open for 3 weeks. We are
3
doing
weeks, so
very,
That's a baby now.
yes.
We should go there to eat,
Yes.
Pastor.
Yeah, so we're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner
exciting.
from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And it's been pretty packed most every day. So things are going really well. And we just ask that when people come, they be a little patient because we're still learning. We're still learning a lot. But we put the top people we could as our executive chef in our different management positions. And then if we had clients that were eligible, had met the job description and were work ready, then we put them into positions there within the restaurant or the event hall. But those who still need supportive services, we're still working on funding to provide that for them to get them to a point where they are work ready. So it's just a long process, and we're just kind of taking it step by step.
Yeah, step by step. That's amazing.
Yes, and and Step by Step has grown to serve over 1,200 people.
1,200, yeah.
1,200 people
Yes.
At a time.
at
yeah.
a time. Wow, that's a lot. Each year, 1,200
100
people
women.
each year. Women. Wow. And I see that you do home visits. Wow.
Yes.
And you bring baby items, and you give all type of things, and infant care and things like that. So you have great services. So tell us about some of the services. I know you say you go into the homes. When you go visit, what do you do?
So all the referrals come into our main office, and then they are distributed based on what the need is. So if we have someone that has had a prior preterm birth, has gestational diabetes, has some other health issues, we connect them with the nurse. If they have got potential domestic violence or relational issues, then we're connecting them with our master level counselors, and then they form an interdisciplinary team to address the issues that are going on in and around the home. So we're addressing education, transportation, food insecurity, housing, their relational issues that they're having. It just depends on where they're coming from. And then we create a plan of care to really addressing first the needs that they see as important, because even if we see that there are things that need to be addressed, if we're not addressing their immediate needs and the concerns that they immediately have, and then we do that, and then we work on this plan of care, really working towards having a healthy baby, a healthy birth, and being on solid footing as far as their parenting goes, as they get into those first and very critical first few months of life. So
That's so caring.
Yeah.
So you go in, you do sort of a survey and see
Yes,
what the
an
needs are,
assessment.
and assessment, and see what the needs are, and meet those needs. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because there's so many young women just like Elizabeth that out there just don't know what to do and where to go to get help. So
Yes.
And
you
being
step
that
in.
support. I mean, the big thing we do is just we have that relationship. We're sitting on their couches in their homes or their apartments or their hotels or wherever it is that they are living, and really getting familiar with their environment and developing those bonds with them. And that's why this next step was really made sense to us, that we have that relationship, and then how can we help them to really grow further in their skills and their confidence, and really to understand what they're best suited for and gifted for, like this, like what you're doing. And so,
So you go out, find a need, and meet the need.
yeah, we are.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have you give us a story about one of the situations that you were in? You saw the outcome was great.
Well, I have so many
I know you
stories
do.
I could tell you. I could tell you, but I always,
Yes.
it's always probably my favorite one is one of our very first clients 22 years ago. Her name is Penny, and she has 3 children. And it was a neighbor that called us from seeing kind of things that were coming out of the house and people that were going into the home, and feeling like there was a huge safety issue, a big concern. And called us, and we got connected with her and began visiting with her like every month, like we do. And she went through Step by Step, graduated, became a volunteer of Step by Step. Then we hired her 12 years ago, in kind of a similar model of what we're doing here at Farm 12. But we hired her 12 years ago. She has been doing the books for Step by Step for 12 years, and her son just graduated from University of Washington with an electrical engineering degree. He was a full ride scholarship to University of Washington, and her her daughter is at Bellevue University, and her youngest son is at UW. And just we don't take credit because she's a very strong person, but she really needed some support in getting out of a very abusive relationship, and it's a hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do. So she made those steps, and I think having that support, and also she grew up in a single parent welfare home in the projects on the East Coast, and just never really saw what good nurturing and parenting was. I mean, she didn't see a mother who nurtured her, and she did everything she could to kind of get out of the home. And so she actually began working in a restaurant to escape her abuse there when she was 14, and just really is on fire for this project and all of the life skills that you learn from a restaurant and service in the hospitality industry. So
That's really good.
Yeah.
I just have to say that I really like the fact that all these case managers were not judgmental towards me. I felt so safe when I was talking to them. I never felt like they were just looking down on me, or they just accept me as who I am, who I was. So I'm really
And where you
confident,
were,
about the service that you guys providing. So thank you. Yeah.
And your son is 10?
10, right?
Yes.
Wow. He's amazing. It's just not only you saved
Yeah, I
me
met
and then
him.
saved the
He's
next
such a
generation.
amazing
He's a
man.
strong warrior. Yeah.
Yes,
And then
he is.
also very artistic too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also mention the Christmas party that you're
Yeah.
putting on every
Oh,
year.
yeah.
I
Tell
got
us
to
about
go. I got to go a few days ago. And I talked to all this your clients, and they were like blown away. Wow, you were a client here before, and now you're princess, you're Miss Bellevue with a crown.
Wow. And they
It was
saw the
amazing.
transition.
Yeah, transition.
Yes.
How did you feel?
I thought
Can
it
you
was
tell?
really
It was
beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah. So we have a Christmas party every
Yeah.
year, one down south and one up north, and we had 1,001 guests at that Christmas party. It was
Yes.
very crazy. So we served them a full kind of Christmas meal, and we
Yes.
take family pictures with
Yeah.
them, and we take
I
Santa
love that,
pictures.
yeah.
So, and then you were able to go around, and they just flocked to you.
Yeah,
I saw
I
them
know. I
everywhere.
took a lot
Just,
of
the
pictures.
children
As you
looking
can
up
see
to
in the
you.
pictures.
Yeah. So it was really a beautiful thing, and
Yes.
it's really, really great. We don't get that opportunity very often to have former clients come in and be such a public display of
Yes.
success and what you can do and what
Yeah.
you're capable of.
It was my
And-
honor.
Yeah,
I was
it
so proud of myself. Of course, I'm proud of
Yeah.
my staff.
Yeah.
Amazing.
yeah, it was beautiful. It was
I wish I had a
beautiful.
sign saying former client.
Yeah. Transformation. here.
Transformation,
Yes.
right? So,
Yeah.
can you do? I want to ask her, what is the thing that we can do to help your organization? Like, any challenges that you are facing? Just want to, obviously, we want to help you. I personally
With
want to.
volunteers
So
or
volunteers,
whatever,
yeah.
Well, we have. You can connect with our volunteer coordinator on their website, which is listed below. So we are always in need of and love volunteers. If anybody wants to do a diaper drive, that is one thing that we always need: our newborn and size 1 diapers and wet wipes. Those are big things. And we also we put together a welcome home bag for every new mom that has diapers and wet wipes and handmade sleep sacks and burp cloths and receiving blankets, and then board books to read to children after even while you're pregnant, you can read to your baby.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just a
right.
really important thing. So those are kind of small things that we can do. We always appreciate people who donate monthly to Step by Step, just for that monthly encouragement. It could be $10, $20. That we love that. And then on a bigger scale, one of the needs that we have is that supportive service side. So women who are most of our clients that are not ready or really prepared to step into a job and be reliable, independent, and really have the skill set to be able to step into a job. We have a supportive service program, and we were invited to write for a $2 million grant through United Healthcare that would have been over 3 years, and we just found out today that we didn't get it.
Yay.
No, we didn't.
No, you didn't get it.
We didn't
You'll
get
get
it.
it.
Oh,
So
you'll get it.
They
Yeah.
didn't fund any projects, so they were looking for innovative ways to incentivize women to take ownership of their health and their life, and that was their goal. So they sought us out and asked us to apply, and they didn't fund any projects in Washington, so they're based in Minnesota. But so that was a huge disappointment that I'm still just kind of like, I haven't even told my team yet. So if anybody on my team is listening, we didn't get it. So anyway, that's just it doesn't need to be that much, but a couple $100,000 a year is probably what it's going to be for the next 3 years, until the businesses are up and going long enough to create that profit margin that we would then be able to be completely self-sustaining after 3 years. So there's enough. We have consultants who are working with us on this, that the businesses will be making enough within 3 years to replace a couple $100,000 a year for those supportive services. So they're just women who have a really high ACEs score. If you know those adverse childhood experiences, they're just really struggling with a lot of barriers that they have to moving forward, and really need very tangible, hands-on, and a lot of time to be able to move towards being more stable, to really be able to step into a job. So,
Well, Krista, you have such I can feel it. You have such a loving, kind heart. Could you speak to our audience out there? It might be some ladies out where I'm pretty sure there are out there struggling. You know, could you just speak to them and invite them and encourage them to get help? And you have it.
yeah, I guess it just depends on where you are, but if you're in a place and you're expecting a baby and you're looking for that support and reaching out for that, you can always contact Step by Step at 253-896-0903, or you can actually fill out a referral form on stepbystepfamily.org on our website, and we would love to connect with you, whether you are in Pierce, King, Snohomish, or Kitsap County. Those are the counties that we serve. I would just really encourage you, as I to lean on other people when those times when you are feeling like Elizabeth was, that she did not have that support, and really reach out for that, to, I guess, to,
Just
Don't be
reach out,
ashamed.
no
Just
one
reach
is
out.
sick help out
Yeah,
there.
don't-
Yeah.
don't hide.
And realize
Yeah,
that you are
yeah.
not alone
Yeah.
in this journey, and that we would really love to meet with you and walk alongside this journey with you, and really watch you reach your full potential. And sometimes we just have this, we're so heavy with the burdens of life and the burdens that we feel like that we're carrying, and to have someone help kind of take some of those off for a moment in time, and then be a little bit stronger in the next step that we take. And that's really the road. The name Step by Step really came because we're all on this journey of getting stronger every day. And if we can just, like the Frozen, I don't know if anybody's seen the Frozen movie, the second one, but I love all the messages in that movie. And it's really, they say it over and over again in that movie, take the next right step. And that's where Step by Step comes from, is that when we just put one foot in front of the other and we take the next right step. And sometimes we don't know what that is. And that's what someone who's in a stronger and better place can kind of help us to decide and determine what that next right step is. But we're here for you. Step by Step is here for you. We have 28 amazing women who can be connected, that you can be connected with, and to really walk that journey. And you don't need to do it alone. So
that's for sure. I can guarantee. I'm a
Yes.
proof. If Vicky's watching this, then hi, Vicky.
and Vicky's amazing. She is.
Yeah.
Well, they're all amazing, but Vicky is just very, very kind and tender person, and very wise. Very wise
she's
woman.
very, very professional too.
Yes.
And where were you 10 years ago? I didn't see you, obviously, when I was in
Well, So she's up north, and I work down south, so that's a big reason. But I don't do any of. So I did case management early on, but my board said, you know, you need to either be purely administrative or be in the field, and decide to have somebody else run all the administration. And it has been this project alone, just the capital campaign of this has taken every bit of me, and it has been an emotional, such an emotional journey.
It was beautiful.
And think
when I
how
went
it
there.
started from a little girl,
Right.
Yeah.
and how your heart was touched.
Yeah.
And now look at, oh, wow. So that encourages people to dream, and, you know, to dream and have a vision, and know that you can do it. You know, you can do what your heart desires to do. And if you just hold on to that, you know, and you held on to that dream, and look at what's happening. 1,200 people a year, 1,200 women a year are being helped. Just go on Step by Step and check them out. Stepbystep.org.
Stepbystepfamily.org.
Stepbystepfamily.org. Yes, you're amazing, and your organization is amazing. There's so many young women out there that just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They don't have any help, but you can walk with them step by step.
Step by step.
And also
It's
they
wonderful.
help father as well, you know.
Oh, okay.
So just so when they see, you know, they invite a family. So when whether they're married or not, when the children's father go there together, they feel love and they feel accepted. So it's really great. And I was gonna ask you really quick, how did you feel when I first got a hold of you guys and the previous client calling, and then she happened to Miss Bellevue really quick.
Yeah, well, you left a message,
Yeah.
and I happen to be, I don't know how much time we have, but we have
4
step-by-step
minutes, yeah.
dads that are working in the kitchen now, and it's always been my desire to really be able to come alongside and help the whole family, because we predominantly work with the moms. But I had been talking with the kitchen. I'd been talking with 3 different groups, the front of house, back of house, and the event staff. And I had been talking to them about their vision and goals for their future, because I want to work with them like we would with Step by Step, because they all have struggles, and if I can support them, and we have hired 65 people for those, you know, those positions. So Step by Step has, you know, 100 employees now under our wing. So I was meeting with each of them, and I told them, I said, I get amazing phone calls all the time by somebody saying, I'm looking for this, or I could connect you with this. And I said, if I know what your hopes and dreams are, it could have nothing to do with staying by working at Farm 12, but I could connect you if I know what they are, and I really want to be able to help them too. So anyway, then I went in the office, and I got your message, and I came back out, and I said, well, you wouldn't believe who just called us. And I said, just like, for example, a former client called and is now Miss Bellevue. And so not that I was going to be connecting any of them with that, but I said, it's just an example of how amazing, you know, we just never know the seeds that we're planting and the ways that we're impacting people, sometimes for years down the road.
You never know.
then
Maybe
you
you're
never
helping
know.
next president of the
The
United
next
States.
president of the United States, exactly.
That's
Son
right.
is
Yeah, that's right.
That's right,
Woo,
exactly.
how amazing would that be?
Yeah. And so your organization started in what,
97.
1997. Wow, and look how much has happened since then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
So feel free to come by Farm 12 restaurant and have
Yes, right
breakfast,
here.
lunch, or dinner.
Yes. Could you give us that address again?
3303 8th Avenue Southeast, Puyallup, 98372.
Okay. Could
got
you
it
do it
right.
one more time?
Yes, 3303 8th Avenue Southeast, Puyallup, 98372.
All right.
Yes.
Right.
So we're just east of Shaw Pioneer intersection off of Pioneer. So just out of downtown Puyallup.
And then also you can have a wedding there too,
And
right?
you can have a wedding there. You can have a
Weddings or
corporate event.
meetings.
You can
Oh,
have
it's
a reunion.
beautiful. Yeah, I wish I
we
can
have
show
we
you
had
this
a
one.
picture of
We have a
that.
gorgeous,
Yeah,
gorgeous
I
event
don't
hall.
Yeah.
see it. It was
No, you
beautiful.
can't.
It's
Yeah.
breathtaking.
Yeah.
Oh, timely. I wish you had this 10 years ago.
This
This Farm 12.
But it's now.
But now there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain. I'm so excited about having clam chowder soup and all the gourmet food. I'm going to bring all of my friends and, you know.
we have an
gonna have
in-house
party.
bakery.
Yes.
So we
That's
have beautiful
wonderful.
baked goods there and very, very delicious food.
Yeah.
So.
Exciting. And your daughters are beautiful, like models. I was like surprised. I mean, you're beautiful too.
Yep, they're very tall and very, yes, and blonde. And 2 of them are working for One of them's working for Farm 12, and one of them's working for Step by Step.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh, precious.
I'm very thankful that they got business degrees and graduated from
Wow,
college, and
wow.
now are really
Yeah.
very, very instrumental in helping us get this off the ground. So,
Well, we're so thankful to have you here. I see our time is out. We're so grateful to have you here and to share your ministry. And I know a lot of women are going to get this information and, you know, be able to get the help that's what you wanted, that you so desired to give them. So till next time, we're out with last words before we go out. Last words, I want to give you that opportunity.
oh, goodness. You are stronger than you think, and I encourage you to take the next right step. And thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
All right.
I appreciate
Thank you for the opportunity.
Till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Greater Faith Outreach Ministries with Pastor Elizabeth, reaching the world with the love of God. If you'd like prayer or a copy of today's program, log on to www.greaterfaithoutreach.com or call 253-324-7902.